Okay, here we are. I was feeling like coming back to the Atari, and I didn't want to do something that was too much of a time commitment. So here we have Centipede, the classic arcade game. I'll just press start to start. One player game. Here we go. So you have your little player down here at the bottom of the screen. You have the centipede going back and forth through the mushrooms up there. You have spiders coming at you. You have fleas coming down the screen. I'm not playing terribly strategically here. And that was just bad. Anyway, the point is to shoot down the centipede before it can take you out. It helps if you don't get stuck on the mushrooms. It also helps if you don't let them get to the bottom like this. Or get hit by spiders. They're easy to forget about. And they move erratically. Well, that was quick. Definitely a good time for a new game. This is one of those games where you can only have one shot on the screen at a time. If you clear one centipede, another one shows up. Sometimes with detached heads like this for no apparent reason. Your shots could destroy pretty much everything. Centipede, segments, spiders, and fleas in one shot. Mushrooms take several shots. As you can tell, I'm not particularly good at the game. What you want to try to do is get them channeled in a small area like that. The spider moving back and forth will erase mushrooms that it hits, which can be good or bad. Fleas will create new mushrooms. A centipede, as you probably noticed, if you shoot the head dies, and the segment behind it becomes a new head. If you shoot a middle segment, then the segment behind that comes ahead, and the existing front keeps going separately. If you let things get to the bottom of the screen, it becomes kind of a mess. Because you cannot shoot behind you, although you can raise up off the bottom so they're not just hitting you constantly. Haven't even get to the scorpions yet. There, that's what you want to try to do if you can manage it. Also note that when you destroy a centipede egg, it will create a mushroom in front of it, which helps channel them down. Oh, there's a scorpion. At least I think they're scorpions. Whatever they are. Any mushrooms those touch become poisoned. A centipede that hits a poisoned mushroom just dives straight at the bottom of the screen. Everything has its own distinctive sound. It's similar to having a music soundtrack, but not. And of course, it's also more dynamic to what's actually happening. Like many arcade-type games, it will keep track of your current and high scores. You have the current score on the left, the high score to the right. And yeah, I didn't have a shot available to hit that. Yeah, one of the disadvantages to having one shot on the screen at a time is if your shot's already on the screen, you can't shoot again. And there I wasn't watching out for the spider. Yeah, as I've said, your ideal thing is to get them caught in a narrow spot like that, where you can just shoot segment after segment after segment. And staying in the same spot when you can and shooting down the centipede helps with that because of how it creates mushrooms in front of it when you shoot down ahead. One thing I recall about the spiders is the closer they are to you when you shoot them, the more points they're worth. I think they're 300 if they're further away, 900 if they're really close, and 600 in between. And like most games, if you get enough points, you get extra lives. There's one. Looks like the first one at 10,000. I'm not sure if it's every 10,000 or if it increases. Guess I went too fast there. Alright, and when you die, any poisons or damaged mushrooms revert to normal, and you get extra points for each one. Yeah, the other thing that gets hard to keep track of when they get low is whether they're rising or falling. Because once they hit the bottom, they'll start going back up after a few rows. And yeah, that was just far enough that I was not out of its range. Let's give it another go. I seem to be improving. Or at least getting luckier. Yeah, that's the kind of trap you want to try to set up if you can. Right, with the alternating mushrooms on either side of it, they have to come straight down, which means they're coming straight down into your line of fire. You can hold the button to shoot continuously as soon as you have a shot available, or you can tap it to shoot on command. Oops. I was trying to shoot at the mushroom to the side that was blocking the access to my tunnel there. Yeah, when this works, it works pretty well, but you do have to watch out for the fleas creating obstacles, the spiders destroying things or running into you, the scorpions making everything go berserk. Yeah. Also, because of that one shot on screen at a time limit, it helps when you can safely do so to move further up the screen. And I didn't have a shot there. I keep moving into the path of the thing, expecting to shoot it, and then realizing belatedly, I already have a shot on the screen, I can't keep shooting. And that one was going down rather than up. Nope, let's go a little further. Or another game. See if I can make it to 20k and determine whether or not you get an extra life for that. This is joystick control, so... it can be a little finicky about moving precise distances. It's so satisfying when that works, though. Oop, spider. Looks like I have a pretty good setup here. It's going to be really hard to hit them when they get right in your face like that. They're pretty speedy little buggers. So trying to get a precise hit in can be very tricky. and with each wave, the mushrooms change color. Not sure if that's an Atari edition or if it's in the original arcade. Yeah, but as I've said, the sound effects aren't actually music, but they're fairly musical once everything gets going. And whoever designed the sounds for the game knew what they were doing. I was lucky not to get hit there. Yep, there's another life. Looks like it is every 10k. And I feel like they speed up when there are fewer things on the screen. I'm not sure if that's an intentional design decision or if it's just because there's less to process. Also, if you let them linger towards the bottom of the screen for too long, they start multiplying. So you want to try to avoid that, and not just because they're more dangerous when they're in your face. Also, the further into the game you get, the fewer full centipedes you see, the more individual segments they are. That means they're kind of everywhere and more of a pain to deal with. Yeah, that's the way of arcade games. The further into them they get, the more hostile they become, and you're feeding it more and more quarters. Of course, that's not an issue with the home game, which is part of the appeal of getting the home game. In any case, I think I'm centipeded out for now. That was a pretty decent run. So, for now, this has been Herafelon playing a bit of Centipede for the Atari 8-bit systems. And this is going to be a short video for this week. We'll see what I do next week. Haven't decided yet. Anyway,